Okay. Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about thinking in reverse, what that means, how you're currently thinking, and how that's actually thinking in reverse, and how switching the way you think will help you to manifest better and easier. So we're first going to start out by just saying that last time when I was on the live, my comments weren't working. So I actually realized later that I had comments. So whoever was asking questions on there, I didn't see it. So sorry. So everything should be working now. So I'm just going to go over it right now. Okay. I also have a moderator now too as well in this chat. So that'll help me out as well. But it should be working now. I can see the comments. So let's see here. Okay. All right, everything should be fine now. Okay, so I'll get started. So reverse thinking. Now, there's a simple equation, a math equation, for those of you who are very practical, that I like to go over when talking about this. And that is the simple equation, 1 + 1 = 2. This is pretty much a basic equation that you get. It is cause and effect, in other words, in manifestation. If 1 + 1 = 2, then you can switch it and say 2 = 1 + 1. So you can do this with your thoughts as well. When you're trying to manifest something, what it looks like in manifestation is like this. The physical reality is the effect. This is the effect of your inner world. It is the effect of the culmination of all your thoughts, all of your ideas, and all of your beliefs at once. So that is the end result. That is the effect. What you're looking at here, no matter what it is, the house you live in, the current situation that you're with, the friends that you have, and the job that you have, everything is the effect of everything that happens within you. With that being said, most people, when it comes to manifesting, or in general, without even understanding manifestation, want to change the effect. This means trying to change your outer reality by doing something about it out here physically. So if you want a better job, people typically get another job and try to get things done that way. Try to find a new partner, try to do things physically in order to get different results. And sometimes this works. But in manifesting, and in the bigger scheme of things, it's not that simple, because there's also a lot of people that can't run away from the same things happening in their life. So what this looks like is you try to get a new job, and then the same things happen in the new job that happened in your old one. Your manager was taking advantage of you. He was making you work harder than everybody else. You get a new job, and that happens as well. And it will continue to happen until something changes. You attract the same relationships. You attract the same financial situations, no matter if you move to a different state, a different country, no matter what happens, the same thing happens. So what we do is just think that we must do something in the physical reality in order to get things completed. And in manifestation, you use your mind first, and then you do something, and then this causes a change. And hello, everybody coming in. I welcome all of you. Today, I'm talking about reverse thinking and how to manifest. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them there. I'll answer them. Last time I couldn't answer any questions. There was a problem on my end here on YouTube, and there was a glitch. So I see everybody now. So I welcome everybody. Feel free to ask anything you want. But I'm just talking about thinking in reverse and how this plays a role in manifesting, and how we typically think in reverse in our everyday life, just by seeing the effect, which is the physical reality, and then thinking that in order to change it, we have to change our physical reality itself. But in manifestation, we first change ourselves in order to change what's happening outside. So in order to understand how to change your reality in the first place is recognizing that imagination or consciousness is the cause of everything. So everything works in cause and effect. So as I spoke about earlier, 1 + 1 = 2. The physical reality is the effect. Now, what's the cause? The cause is consciousness. The way that you think, your ideas and your beliefs, In order to change things, you have to go straight to the cause, straight to the source. Change yourself, change your ideas, change the way you think, change the way you believe about things, change the way you feel about things. This is how you break the old patterns. This is how you break repeating the same things over and over again. So you want to first change yourself before you change anything outside. And this is why I call it reverse thinking, because this is the last thing we think we have to do to change our life. We don't first go to change ourselves. If we want a better life, typically we say, how am I going to get this done? Do I have to talk to this person? Do I have to apply for this job? And we kill ourselves trying to find out how things are going to happen. And so this is the way it works. So we have to always go back to consciousness is the cause. This is what causes reality, your imagination, your subconscious, and what dwells in there. The outer world will always just be the effect. So consciousness is reality. So you go there. What you must learn to do in order to manifest very effectively is to think from the end. You might hear this a lot if you follow Neville Goddard, or you follow people that talk about the law of assumption a lot. But what this means essentially is this. We think from the state that we are at currently. So to think from the end, we jump straight to the end. So the question is not, how am I going to get where I want to be? It's, who am I when it's already completed? That's the end result. So it's not a matter of, how am I going to get there? What do I do? What are the things that I must do? Who am I going to be? The reality is you're already that person. So it's not a matter of thinking about it, because if you always ask the question, what must I do? Then you're already questioning, you're already saying that you are not that. So the reality is it's less of a question and more of a statement. How do I feel when it's already completed? If you want a better relationship, it's, who am I now? Which ideal am I embodying right now to attract the person I want? Me having more success, what does that look like? So you're thinking from the end result, and it goes backwards. So the how gets filled without you even trying. So it's not a matter of you thinking from where you're at now and then figuring out how to get to the end. You're already at the end and it makes its way backwards. So you essentially bring the future here in the present, and then the gap gets filled without you even doing anything. So it's a kind of like a funny topic, because the way we think about things is actually the reverse. We don't get anywhere by acknowledging who we are now, essentially, because who we are now is always far away from who we want to be. And this is why a lot of the time I talk about dying to your old self, because your old self is supposed to drop off naturally when you assume the new state. So you don't have to try to let go of your old state. You just embody the new one, and the old one drops off by itself, or it dies, in other words. So you don't have to try to do that. And in the Bible, this is known as let the dead bury the dead. You don't have to try to do anything. All you must do is assume the state in the end. If 1 + 1 = 2, then 2 = 1 + 1. You embody the end goal. So it looks like this as well. If you being successful means that you're always happy, for example, or you're more at peace, then you would be more at peace now, because that equals you being more successful. So rather than wait for that to happen first, you do it in reverse, because it's the same thing. If you being successful means you're at peace, then being at peace means you're successful. It's always interchangeable, and you can always inverse it, I guess you can say. It always works in the inverse operation. So you don't have to wait for yourself to feel happy, to be at peace, to feel like you're someone. You're already someone. And so when you take on that role, you think from that position, from the end. So you don't have to wait, and you don't have to force anything to happen. It happens for you by natural consequence of the state that you fulfilled. Because again, their consciousness is what creates reality. So this is always the effect. The way that you feel and the ideas that you carry will then cause the effect, which is the physical reality, to change itself. And that's the way it works. Thinking in reverse. In the ancient days, this was known as the law of cause and effect. Now, another thing that I want to make clear is that nothing happens by natural, like, coincidence, I guess you can say. Everything happens by consequence of something else. And this is a good thing because a lot of times we feel like life is just blowing us around. And so we feel like we're at the whims of fate or the whims of destiny, that there's nothing we can do to change anything. But you are the cause. And if you are the cause, then you are also the effect. If you look at life in the way where you are the victim to it, or this is just the cause of everything that happens to you, then it will just continue to happen. If the cause of the way you feel is your physical reality, then it works in reverse as well, where now it's impressing your thoughts and your ideas to continue to create what's already there. So it's already reinforcing your physical reality, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like how you enter this loop where if consciousness is the reality, what is your consciousness doing? What are your beliefs doing? What ideas are you holding that are causing this to repeat itself? What happens is we look around and let's say we want to manifest money. We say, okay, I understand that consciousness creates reality. How am I going to get there? You look around and you say, this is not going to happen. So what's happening out here is affecting your ideas. And then your consciousness gets impressed and then it continues to create that. And that's the simplest way to understand how your physical reality affects you. And this is why there's so much emphasis on meditation, ignoring what's happening out here, and using your imagination, using your consciousness to create, and not having the outside world tell you or put limitations on what you should think and what you should believe. Because you are the cause. And if you're the cause, you are creating the effect. Don't try to just change the effect if you are the cause. But don't think that the cause is outside of you, because then the power is removed from you. You're getting the cause and you're putting it out there, if that makes sense. So now the cause is out here and there's nothing you can do about it because it's no longer within your grasp. But if you're the cause, it's back here. You are the cause. You are the ultimate creator. You are the one creating the effect. So this requires practice. And this requires a change in perspective, in reality as well. There's nothing to think that has a hold on you in this way that we think in our everyday life, where it's like, well, you know, my physical reality says this about me, and all the labels that we have about ourselves. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough people. I can never be successful because X, Y, Z. You are the cause. And if you're the cause, you are the effect. And that's just the way it works. Now, to integrate a belief within yourself is another step, you can say. Because you can say this, for example, if you want to become more successful, naturally, your mind will convince you of the opposite. So you don't want to lie to yourself either. But in order to lie to yourself, if you're the cause and you want to create an effect, you have to slowly get there. It's not a matter of you do this from one day to another. So the way that this happens, I like to call this belief integration, is you first entertain a thought that you want for yourself. And then through repetition of this thought, your mind becomes comfortable with it. Because you have to understand that if you're not used to thinking that you are the cause, that you are the one in charge of your reality, then your mind can have a hard time with it. It can come across as, oh no, I've created this horrible life that exists, or I could create something better. So there's a little bit of stress associated with it. And there's also a sense of responsibility. But there has to be a slow integration of this idea where you can trust yourself and at the same time be comfortable with what you're saying to yourself. You don't want to feel like you're lying. It has to feel natural. So there has to be a natural, easy feeling with what you are feeling. So you can have a big gap between where you are now and where you want to be. So for example, if you say, I want to be rich and successful, and you look where you are now, and the gap is huge, you want to slowly get there because that gap is so big. So what this looks like is this. You first entertain the thought and you say, I am successful. You create the picture and you don't want to compromise. You don't want to settle it down, because a lot of times what we do as well is we say, I want to be rich and successful. And then we have this grand idea. And then slowly over time, we start taking ideas down. Excuse me. We start taking things down because we feel like it's impossible. But what you want to do is actually just hold the picture and then repeat it, add on to it, not take away. Because what you want to do is get used to even thinking about that. So getting used to thinking of the idea in the first place makes it natural by itself. So you don't have to try to do anything. It just requires the repetition of thinking about that. At first, it might feel uncomfortable. At first, you might say, how is this going to happen? This is never going to happen, and this is normal. This is why over time, you continue to think about it and continue. And then slowly that voice that says, how is this going to happen? This is never going to happen, goes away naturally. Because it's like, okay, we're used to thinking about this now. This is normal, this is natural. So when you do this all the time, every single day, you think about what you want, you meditate on it, you feel it, it becomes a normal part of you. And it's then you put yourself in it. So first it becomes natural, a natural idea. Then you want to put yourself in the manifestation. So once you get used to the idea, again, I am successful and I am rich. You think of the perfect scenario. Then you insert yourself in that scenario and the same thing happens. How am I going to do it? This is not natural. But once you get used to thinking about it, it becomes real for you. So first you create the picture, then you put yourself in that picture, and then it becomes you. And this is how you think in reverse by taking those steps. Belief integration, imagination integration, whatever you want to call it, just creating that space and putting yourself in there. That's what you want to do slowly. But this happens through repetition. And this has to be something that you do every single day, at least for 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a whole hour or anything like this. It just has to be something that you do. And it has to be done in silence. It has to be done in meditation, in a place where you can just feel comfortable. But once this happens, it just becomes natural. So you want to emphasize on the feeling of being natural as possible. Because if you were successful and if you were rich and it was something that was just a matter of fact thing, it's just something that's like, well, this is what it is. This is who I am. And this is the state that you're looking for. A lot of times people feel like manifesting has to be like this. Oh, wow, I have to manifest and have this great feeling. Oh, wow, I'm so successful. But it's much calmer than that. It's just a matter of fact thing. Well, this is just what it is. It's a natural part of who I am. And when it's a natural state in you, then this tells your body, your nervous system, that this is safe. It's not this exciting thing that happens. It's just a matter of fact thing. It should be as natural as you turning on the lights. It's like, if you flip the switch, the lights come on. It's like, okay, yeah, that always happens. It's a natural thing for you to be successful. It's a natural thing for you to be rich or whatever you're trying to manifest. That's what you're looking for, the naturalness of that state. This is what you are cultivating, bringing in your body and learning how to do, learning how to be. These are changing states, essentially. And once you know how to do this, then you can start thinking from the end. You are the cause. If you can learn how to integrate states within yourself, you will be an expert at manifesting. You will be an expert at creating exactly what you want all the time. And this is one of those things, thinking in reverse. If you always think from where you're at now, you will just continue to manifest that. But just recognize that it's not something you do overnight. It's done through repetition, through practice, without killing yourself either. Don't judge yourself, don't be harsh. Just recognize that you have to make a space for it, and that's it. It won't exist unless you actually think about it. And as much as your natural instincts and your physical reality deny it, as long as you continue and persist, it will happen. And that's the key here. Just making it as normal as possible. No matter how weird it is or how foreign it is, if you continue, it will happen, and it must, because that's the way manifestation works. You are the operant power. You are the cause. And so it'll change your effect. Don't put the cause, don't put the power outside of you. Always remember that it comes from you. So go to the end and then manifest in reverse from that state of feeling natural and what you want for yourself. And it will always happen. Another thing that's important with manifesting in this way as well is to, once you get used to the idea, once you create the perfect picture, once you insert yourself in the manifestation, you start experiencing it, always put yourself in the first person perspective. I am successful. I am comfortable. I have a lavish, comfortable life. You want to put it in that way because your mind doesn't understand time in the way that we do. The subconscious mind understands everything in the present tense. So this is another thing that you can do. And the perfect Bible verse for this, one of my favorites, comes from, I wrote it down here, it's John 4:35, where it says, "Don't say that there's 4 months, then comes the harvest." It says, "Lift up your eyes and look, for they are white and are ready to harvest." So what this means is, you're not actually waiting for anything to happen. You are experiencing your manifestation within you. This is the symbolism in that verse. The Bible is all about symbolism, about teaching you how to manifest, teaching you about consciousness. So what it's saying is, lift yourself up. In other words, raise your consciousness, lift up your eyes, and recognize that things are not far away. In other words, what you're looking at in your physical reality is only the effect. Lift your eyes up. Don't look down here. Look at what the cause is, consciousness, your imagination, and then harvest what is there. In other words, experience it. Use your imagination to feel it vividly. Use your senses, and then you will get it in the end. Don't wait for the harvest. There is no such thing as waiting. There's no such thing as waiting in the mind. No such thing as waiting for your manifestation. Experience it now. And then the physical reality will catch up to it whenever it decides to do that. Physical reality has its own time frame, but the mind doesn't. It's like a dream where when you're dreaming and things happen so quickly, it's just like that. So experience it within yourself. Think about it from the reversed perspective, where your imagination creates everything. Don't be a victim to life and don't allow it to push you around anymore. You are the cause. Consciousness is the only reality. I hope that makes sense as well. I mean, you guys can feel free to ask any questions, but I also want to emphasize that the way that we naturally think is actually the reversed way of thinking. Another Bible verse that comes to mind is the Bible verse that says, "The first shall be last and the last shall be first." Now, this is mysticism and this is symbolism, because the natural way that we think about things, thinking about how things are going to be done, worrying about what am I going to do, thinking from our current state. This is the way we naturally think. So what this will do, it won't get us really far. It'll kind of, when it comes to manifesting, it'll keep us behind. So what it means when it says the last shall be first is when you switch your perspective to work on yourself, change the way that you think, then you can get somewhere. You can get somewhere huge, because this is first. If consciousness creates reality and this is the cause, then why is it that we always put it last? Essentially, that's what it's saying. So it just takes a switch in perspective. It's not a matter of, I have to work harder, I have to do this harder, I got to change my surface circumstances, because all we're doing is rearranging things and then they go back to normal. We got to go straight to the source, which is ourselves. So don't ask yourself how things are going to happen. Just go straight to the end. Go within yourself and discover what it is that's stopping you. And this is how you manifest in reverse. Thinking in reverse. Another thing I like to emphasize as well is that every single impression has an outer experience or an expression. So you can think of impressions being like ideas, beliefs. When somebody tells you something or when you see something and it has a certain feeling within you, every impression that you have has an outer expression. So it seeks expression in the physical reality. So whatever it is that really impresses you, in other words, you feel it in your body. It's a reality within you. It seeks reality out here. But it first always is a reality within you. Everything starts as an impression, then has an expression. They're both correlated with each other and they interchange with each other. Your subconscious impressions give birth to your physical reality, always. Another thing is, if you're not consciously thinking about what you want, then whatever impressions happen outside of you will continue to impress you until you do something about it. So one of the things that is striking too is talking about how the mind works itself, how your conscious and your subconscious mind work and play together. So if you are the cause and the physical reality is the effect, then this is how it works in your mind. Your conscious mind, well, you can think about it like this. I'll start from the beginning. You can think of your mind like being a field itself. Now, this field is blank. There's nothing to it. Your conscious mind is the farmer. He is the one who puts the seed in the field. The field itself is your subconscious mind. It accepts impressions, good, bad, doesn't matter where it's coming from. Now, anything can land on this field, but you, the farmer, have to take care of this field. Otherwise, whatever lands there will just grow and take root. You being the cause, the farmer, the conscious power, you can say, if you're idle, your field will do whatever it wants. There will be a bunch of weeds, there'll be bugs there, it'll be overgrown. But if you take care of it, you rehearse the ideas that you want, you play the ideas that you want, you think about your manifestation, you meditate, then this grows instead of just allows your field to go crazy and have weeds growing everywhere. What you want to do is take care of your subconscious mind. Watch the impressions that go in. Watch which ideas are allowed to take root. Remove those, and then always take care of the ideas that you want for yourself. This is how you manifest. Because otherwise, your mind will go crazy with impressions. And this is why it's important not to react to your physical reality or not to react to what people are saying or what impressions go into your mind. So recognize that this is the first step. You are the cause, and no matter what's happening to you, you can change your reality by changing how you react, how you think, and what is happening within yourself. This is merely the effect. If you want to change the effect, then change yourself. Now, if you guys have any questions, you guys can ask them here as well. Otherwise, I'll just talk for a little longer, but I just wanted to talk about that today. Reverse thinking, how it affects you, and everything like that. And as I mentioned last time, there was an issue with the comments, but I can see all of your comments here. Yeah, the Matthew quote. Yeah. I believe it's really important when you look at the Bible as far as more of a teaching you how to grow and expand your consciousness, not so much a book of guideline and morals. But yeah, I mean, if you can look at it from that perspective, you can unlock a lot of things about yourself and just seeing it in a way where you're not just a victim to life, but you're a participant, that you can do something about it. And essentially that's the message, that you're not the victim. There's nothing to fear. There's only the one thing that you should fear is your consciousness itself, because that is what creates. And if that's misunderstood, then that just goes crazy and creates whatever it wants. But if it's under your control, then you can do something about it. And essentially that's what it's about. It's about putting yourself in the creator's seat. There's nothing to fear. All you got to do is look within yourself. You're the cause, and this is merely the effect. So somebody tells you something or you see something scary outside of you, that is not what you should fear. You should fear what is going on within you that reflects that, in other words. But yeah, I like using the Bible a lot. I talk about even more how to decode the Bible and its symbolism. What are your sources? It gets confusing. I've read a lot of books in the past about, I mostly read like books from like the late 1800s and early 1900s. Those are my favorite because typically they have a different way of writing. So, I mean, I talk a lot about it on my channel, on my shorts, and I have some long forms as well, like some longer videos that talk about the Bible and things like that. But yeah, the symbolism, as far as some modern sources, I guess you can say, you can look at Neville Goddard. He talks a lot about mysticism, the Bible, and how to decode it and what it means as far as mysticism, manifestation. There's also a man called Bill Donahue as well. He doesn't talk about it with manifestation, but he speaks about the Bible as far as becoming more aware and expanding your consciousness. So those are a few people that were big into me understanding the Bible mystically. But yeah, I can talk about it in the future as well. I want to do these lives every Sunday around this time, like 8 o'clock. So I can definitely bring up more Bible verses because every single one tells you about manifesting, even expanding your awareness, expanding your consciousness. So those are good. Another book that really changed my life, I'll tell you, this one was, you can look into The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That one was one of the first ones I read and one of the ones that really made an impression on me. There's a good amount of Bible references in there too. It tells you about how to use your conscious mind and helps you understand your subconscious mind as well. And it tells you not only, you should think this way, but it tells you why you should think that way, which I feel like is important because you don't want to be told that you should just do this. You should understand why it is. So you can look into that. It's Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Well, next week when I come on, I'll bring up some more Bible verses. If that is something that you guys are interested in, then that's definitely something I can do. It's just a lot of the times there's people that you either believe in the Bible for what it means literally, or you're just curious. And I feel like both of them oppose each other, but that's why sometimes it can be difficult to talk about it. Because you either have the really strong Christians or you have the people that really want to know about it in a different way, not just like the basic understanding. But that's something I can talk about for sure. But other than that, yeah, follow my channel and just watch the shorts. I throw in a lot of Bible verses. Recently, I've been talking about the book of Daniel and what the beasts in there mean as far as consciousness in different states of consciousness. So you can check out those. So I recently released those in shorts. Yeah, the symbolism, and that's important too because it's not just the Bible; it's like everything. A lot of Greek mythology as well intertwine with the Bible, so it makes a lot of sense when you connect those as well. So Greek mythology as well as the Bible, they all connect with each other. But yeah, understanding the symbols really help because the symbols transcend everything pretty much. Even astrology. Astrology ties really well with everything as well, with consciousness, and just by itself, astrology tells you how consciousness works and how we have our ups and downs in life and everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, but it was nice being on here and being with you guys. I hope to do these more, just be more consistent, spending time with you guys, just creating a space here where we could just talk about anything, talk about the Bible, consciousness, manifestation, because in reality, it all connects. It's not separate. It's not, all knowledge is God's knowledge essentially, and all knowledge can be used for good. And that's the way that we should approach things. And even though we have different ideas and beliefs, it all goes back to the same thing, which is ourselves. If you want to change the world, essentially, all you got to do is change yourself. And then the story is all about changing yourself. There's nothing you can do for other people. In the Bible, it says, I sanctify myself that I may sanctify others. And what it's saying is, you sanctify yourself, therefore you sanctify others. You clean yourself, you clean others. There's nothing you can do for other people, but there's always something you can do for yourself. And when you can do that, you can change other people by natural consequence. So there's nothing to change but yourself. It goes back to what I'm saying. You're the cause. So the effect goes like that. But yeah, I'll be on next week around the same time. So I'll see you guys then. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them here. I'll be more than happy to answer anything you guys have. So I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, watch the shorts I put up. You can always put up video ideas there as well. And I can make videos about them. So I'm curious to see what you guys have. Well, yeah, with that, I'll see you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next week.